So the most common thing that I get told since losing my son is, you are so strong. I cannot believe how strong you are. If this would happen to me, then I wouldn't be able to handle it. I cannot believe that you can handle all this and you're still going. And I'm not gonna lie, it is nice to hear people say things, that they see that you're strong, because it sucks. And it takes like every ounce of everything from you. But I don't know what else to do. Like, I don't even know. The only thing that I know to do is to just keep going. To just keep showing up every day, because I didn't just lose him. I still have my children, and I don't want to lose them by not being here for them. And it's a struggle. It's a struggle because before you lose a kid, your kids are on your mind. Like, they really are. Like, you think about them, but not every day. Not all the time. Well, I mean every day, but like not all the time. You're able to focus on different things. But as soon as you lose a kid, it's like that kid is always like right here, right on the tip of your tongue, on every second of your thought, on everything. Like, it's like you look over there and you see a tree. Oh my gosh, Aiden. You look over there and you're like, oh, Aiden. Or, some kids wearing glasses. Oh, Aiden. And it's like, or you could be looking at just anything that doesn't even have anything to do with them, and they're still completely on your mind. And that consumes you. And it takes over so much of your thoughts that it's just always right there at the tip of your tongue. And so much so that it's on the tip of your tongue that you're always thinking about it, and you're always going to talk. And it's not that you shouldn't talk about your kids that, has died, but because you should. And anytime that you feel like you want to or you need to, you talk. But since it's so much there, your thoughts are so much more there. And sometimes that can cause a delay in thinking about your kids that are still here. And it sounds like you're mistreating them, but you're not. But mentally and emotionally, like, you're spent and you're full. And so you have to make that conscious decision to still try to remember you've got other kids, you have other obligations, you have everything else. Like, maybe if I didn't have a whole bunch of other kids, and like I have three kids, I guess, because Jesus is kind of big too. So 3 kids who are fully functional. They're able to completely take care of their own self. They're self-sufficient for the most part. I mean, they're not great at everything, but like, if I took them to the park and dropped them off, they can find their way home, They can make cereal, some foods, things like that. But I do have 2 littles. And Ben and Briella, they are 3 and 4. Well, she's about to be 5. But it's different because they need constant attention. They demand your time. You don't get to say, you know what, we'll just go later. Or, you know what, I'll just, we'll figure this out. Or figure it out yourself, You actually have to take care of them. And, I mean, I'll be the first person to admit, like, I've not been great at being a mom, even before my son Aiden died, but like afterwards, I know it's been even worse. And it's not anything against my kids, it's me, as a person. And as a person, I'm just like, I don't know. I think that most people feel like they have to keep themselves busy in order to keep going. And that's all it is to me. I'm just trying to keep myself busy. I still think about my kid all the time. Like, I still think about, like, it's fucking bullshit that he is not here. But as soon as something else comes into my mind, as soon as something else that I'm working on, that I'm focusing on, I'm able to focus on something different, and it helps. But then there's times that it doesn't help so much, and it catches up to me, and then that's when it's worse. And that's when it's worse. And that's when the strength is not there. That's when I'm sitting there staring at his case and you get that feeling, and there's a feeling in your stomach, like every time you come to think of like your kid. Like, you can have happy memories and you can sit there and you can think about them and you can be like, feel sad, and like a normal sadness, like you would for any reason that you would be sad. But then there's those other times that this catches up with you, and it's like somebody hits you so hard in the chest that you can't breathe, that you're literally like dying from the inside out, like, and there's nothing that you can do. And that pain is not only just so much mental, but it's physical, because you can physically feel it. And because you can physically feel it, it overtakes you. Like, you almost drop down to your knees and you're just sitting there and you're just clutching your chest and you're just mad and you're angry and you're crying because it hits you that they're not coming home. That they're not here, that they're in the cemetery, that they're in your cabinet, in, their urn, that they're in your necklace, like rings, things like that they're with you. But that they're not coming home. You're not going to see them come home. I'm not going to ever see my 15-year-old come home. He's not going to walk through the doors. He's not going to pull up in my Suburban and just come home and be like, hey, Mom, like, sorry, my bad, I was gone away for a while, but I'm back, It's never going to happen. And the more and more that you realize that, it's such a shitty feeling. It's so bad. Like, it really is. It's like, just, your breath is taken from you. Like, you just can't breathe. You can't do nothing, and you just lose it for however long. And then, you pick yourself back up, and what can you say? What can you do? Like, there's nothing that you can do that's going to bring them back. There's nothing that you can do to fix it. You have all these, what ifs, like, what if I would have done this? What if I would have done that? What should have happened? Like, I know in my head, because I'm not so much of an emotional person. So I don't cry at a drop of a hat. I don't get emotional or overshare So I know, realistically, like, my kid's not going to walk through the door. I know he's not coming home. I physically seen him. I have pictures, I have documentation, I have everything. Like, I know he's not coming home. And I'm a very realistic person. And so I think that's why I'm able to do the day-to-day things a little bit more in people's eyes as strong, and, you're doing great at it, that kind of thing, but I think that's really the only reason why. But I really know, and I know, like, completely, like, if it would have went a different way, like, they would have knocked on my door at 6 a.m. and said, hey, guess what? I'm sorry. Your son's dead. He's, wrecked your vehicle into a tree. And then I would have not got to see him, or not see him, not be at the crash site, not see exactly what it was for what it was. Then I don't know that I would have processed it the same. I know that everybody can't see everything, and I know some parents can't, and I'm not judging, I'm not saying anything like that, I understand that. But for me, for the type of person that I am, I needed that. I needed to know, I needed to see, because that, as much as it hurts, it helps. Because it brings me back down to reality, and it shows me this is true, this is what happened, he's gone, and we're there. Without that, I don't know I don't know where I would be. I don't know how I would be. Now, for whatever reason, I didn't get to see him in the vehicle. I should have fought harder for it. Still kind of mad about this whole thing. But that's the only thing that I can't picture. I don't know how he was. I don't know how he landed. I don't know exactly where he was in the vehicle. Like, I mean, I know he was in the driver's seat, and I know all that, and I know kind of bits and pieces from what people have said. But that bothers me. Because I've said it multiple times before, like, as a parent, you're there, good, bad, happy, sad, really good, really bad, whatever. And I, as who I am, I wanted to see it all. I had to see it all. But I think being able to see it all helped me. It helped me process. It helped me to see it for what it was. Because your mind, man, I've had losses before. I've lost friends. I've lost family members. I've lost people. But to lose your kid, somebody who was there day and night, you know, I mean, we've spent a summer apart together. Like, that's it. Since the time he's been born, a summer. And to know that I can't just pick up the phone and call him, like, he's not answering, like, your mind plays tricks on you. You know, they're like, was he real? You know what I mean? Like, I know that sounds wrong, but, like, sometimes I feel like in my head, like, I imagined him, because it's the most craziest feeling to miss someone to that extent. And I mean, not even just that, like, just thinking about, like, just the whole thing as a whole, like, not even just that if he was real, like, but just that if it really happened. Like, maybe he is on vacation. Maybe he is just, you know, hanging out in Kansas City with my family, or, you know what I mean? I just can't talk to him because his phone's dead. You know, there's different ways that your mind can make you feel and think. And I think most of it is like a coping mechanism for most people that need that protection, and they need that different view of reality to handle their own, you know, feelings and their own thoughts. But for me, that messes with me. It messes with me, and I have to look, and I have to physically remember he's gone. But I think the type of loss, nothing matters. Like, it's hard for anyone. I know that most people will look at a mother who's lost someone that's still working or still able to take care of their other kids or anything else, and they'll think the world of them. I know I always felt bad, and I could have never imagined myself in that position, and I said some shit that, like, sounds so cliche now, but you don't know what to say to somebody who's hurting, and you don't know what to say to somebody who's grieving. I still don't even know what to say to people who are mothers that lose their kids, like, because there's nothing you can say. What can you say? There's nothing that you can say that's going to make it better. There's nothing that you can say, I mean, other than you understand. You understand? And you're there for whatever they need. People don't need the same things when they're grieving, and you don't need to push what you think somebody needs, because that's what you would think you would do. Because realistically, nobody knows what they're going to do until they're in the position at all. And you know what? And even when you're in the position, you don't even know what you're doing. You're just honestly fucking swinging it. Like, you're just winging it one day, one by time, everything. Like, you don't even know. This is such a messed up process. Like, in reality, it really is. It's such a messed up process. Like, I think that handling, like, I don't know. I don't even know any loss that honestly would compare to this. Like, I really don't. Like, I'm just saying, when you think that someone's being strong, and they are, because the strength to get up, to face the day and to do that, and not even with loss, like with anything, like mental illness, with depression, with anything, just the getting up and getting over, like, you are so strong, you are very courageous. But I don't know necessarily that it's a strength. I think it's more of a survival tactic that, I mean, really, and you don't know what to do. Like, well, what would you do? What would you do? What could you do? What are you supposed to do? I mean, there's no right or wrong answer on anyone when they're grieving on what they're supposed to do. Everyone's going to do it differently. And for me, I continue to work, and I work, and I try to take care of the kids. I'm not great at the house, but, you know, I am trying. And for right now, I know nobody would blame me for a messy house or anything else like that. And I understand that. But at the same time, like, it makes me feel awful that I can't keep up with everything. And I'm trying. But I don't know that I'm trying hard enough either, because when you get to this point of, you know, you love someone so much that you're missing that it hurts, sometimes you don't care. And you're like, you know what? I don't care about cleaning this house. Like, I don't care about doing this. I don't care about doing that. And then you have to snap out of that attitude. And my kid, he wrote this thing before he died, when he thought that he was going to die during surgery. I think he knew he was going to die, but to not use him as an excuse. Don't use him as a crutch. Get up off of your butt and do something, you know, do your stuff. And I try to think about that, and I try to remember that when I don't want to do stuff. But man, it's hard. Oh, it's so hard. I miss him. I miss him so much.